Good morning, health and PE class. I am going to record a very quick video, what's called Gentle Flow, and it's a great place for beginners, but it's also really good for any level of exercise because at some point we're all going to need to relax, and that's what Gentle Flow is for. And I'll add some instructions in this video for people who are new to yoga. So let's start in a seated position with your hands on your knees. I have my legs crossed, but you can sit with your feet together or crossed the other way. You could even sit like this if that's more comfortable. But this position feels kind of anxious to me, so I don't think I'll sit here. I think I'll just cross my legs. The first thing that you want to do when you are starting a yoga practice is what's called check in with yourself. Checking in with yourself just means you ask yourself, what do you feel right now and what do you need? So if I'm checking in with myself right now, it's Thursday morning, the first week of the term, and we're all doing online classes, and I personally am feeling overwhelmed with teaching online, and I'm feeling lonely because I really miss my students and I really miss just being at work every day. So if I ask myself what I need, I guess I just need to relax and connect with people. If I'm feeling overwhelmed and lonely, I need to relax and connect with people. So this yoga practice is going to help with the relaxation piece. We'll start our Gentle Flow yoga practice with some breaths. I'll inhale through my nose and exhale through my nose for about 4 seconds each. Again. Again. One more time, and on this one, on the exhale, sigh it out. This type of breathing activates the relaxation response in your nervous system because all day long you get these signals to tense up, and you can't really relax unless you tell yourself to relax with the deep breaths. So another thing to remember about breathing is that you need to do the big inhales and exhales in every single yoga pose because you need to signal for your body to relax that you're safe in every yoga pose. So the next thing that we'll do, we'll start our flow with some neck rolls. Drop your head to your chest and exhale. And then inhale, doing a circle all the way around in one direction. Exhale down. Inhale, do a circle. Exhale down, one more on this side. Come back to neutral. Puppy, move. Move. And then we'll go the other direction. Exhale down. Inhale, roll the other direction. You can pause at any point in these neck rolls. If you feel a place that really needs a good stretch, maybe even bring your arms up into that stretch to help the neck loosen up. Oh, I don't remember what direction I was going. I think I was going this way. Exhale down. One more circle on this side. Inhale around. When you feel even on each side, come back to neutral. The next flow that we'll do will help to open up our midsection. We get so tight in this area from slumping or sleeping curled up or holding babies all day or working all day, lifting with our upper body. So to loosen up here, we'll match our breath to movement and we'll do some twists. Inhale, arms up. Drop the shoulders down. And exhale, right arm behind your body, and left arm comes down to your knee. Look back over this right shoulder. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale down to the left side. Left arm behind you, right hand on your knee. Look back over your left shoulder. Inhale up. Exhale down to the right. Inhale up. It's important to keep your spine straight up, even as you twist. Don't sink into the twist. Stay sitting straight up and just try to find the twist as a sideways motion. Inhale, arms up. Do one more on each side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down to the left. And back to center. If you have joint pain, like my knees and my ankles hurt whenever I stand for a long time or sit in a certain position, you might just tap your legs onto the ground to wake them back up a little bit. The next thing we'll do is some cat-cow flows. This is going to really open up the chest and the back. We'll flow this pose matching our breath to our movement. So come into what's called a tabletop pose. Your hands will be straight down under your shoulders. Your middle finger is pointed forward and your thumbs will be pointed inside. Your knees will be hip width apart and look back. You want your lower legs to be straight back like the number 11. And the tops of my feet are on the ground here. We're going to match every inhale to a cow pose. This is called cow. You drop your stomach and you point your face up to the sky and you point your hips up toward the sky. You inhale. And then exhale, roll everything down to cow pose, cat pose. My hips are now pointed down, my face is pointed down, and my back is arched up toward the sky. This is cat pose. Now, drop the belly again to cow and inhale. And exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Make sure that your palms aren't lifting up and your elbows aren't bending. Your arms should be straight and your palms should still be flat on your mat. Exhale, cat. Let's do one more and then we'll change it up. Inhale, cow. You're welcome to rock back and forth or rock the hips side to side, finding any movement that your body needs. You can check in with yourself multiple times during the practice to ask yourself, what do you need right now? One more exhale to cat. And back to neutral. The next thing we'll do is take my favorite shoulder stretch. You start by lifting up your right hand. You start to lift up towards the right side. Point your right hand all the way towards the ceiling or the sky. You can feel this stretch all the way up the right side body. We're inhaling up, and then you exhale. Put that right arm all the way underneath you and lay your shoulder on the ground. Inhale up, roll the arm all the way up towards the sky. Feel that stretch in this inner shoulder. And exhale back down. This is called thread the needle. Inhale back up, one more time. Come back down to neutral, we'll switch sides now. If you need to rock, maybe you have some tension built up in your lower back from that pose, you can loosen it up with some movement. This time the left arm rolls up the side body, point all the way up, inhale up. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale up. You can get a deeper stretch by taking that back arm and twisting it. It's what's called a bind behind your back. Inhale up and exhale, thread the needle. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, back down to a neutral tabletop. At this point, we'll sink our hips back into a child's pose. This is a resting position. To get into child's pose, bring your feet together to where your big toes are touching and try to bring your knees to the outside of the mat. So the knees are pointed out, but the toes are touching. And then you lean back until you're almost sitting on those feet, and then walk your hands down to the mat into a child's pose. Sometimes I like to alternate laying one cheek on the mat to get a neck stretch. Come back up into a tabletop pose and then kneel on your knees and your tip toes. The next thing we'll stretch is the bottom of the feet and the back of the calves. Slowly sit back onto your feet, and if your body feels okay with it, you'll lock your hands up onto your knees and come up into a full kneeling pose. I do this stretch a lot because I'm a runner, but whenever I first started doing this stretch, it was extremely difficult for me. It was really intense. Move, move, get back. So I had to really concentrate on something in the pose. You might try tapping your fingers together, or you might try connecting with your breath. Again, a good way to connect with the breath is to literally place your hands on your heart and your stomach to feel yourself breathing in and out. After a few seconds, you start to feel yourself kind of sinking into the pose as your body relaxes. But it'll only happen if you're breathing. Oh, okay. Let's get into some standing poses with this gentle flow. Make your way up to a standing position. However you want to get there is fine. The sun is starting to rise and it's shining right on my computer camera. Move. Hey, get back. Get back. Get back. All the way back. There, that's better. This first pose is called Tadasana. That's Sanskrit for mountain pose. And in mountain pose, you check in with your posture from the top of your head to the tips of your feet. Do a body scan. What posture are you in? The top of your head should be pointing straight up. Your gaze is straight forward. The back of your neck is straight. Your chest is open, meaning you're not slumping. Your shoulders are up and back. My abs are flexed. My hips are not pointing forward or back, they're just neutral. My knees are not locked. I could still bend my knees a little if I needed to. And when I look down at my feet, my toes are pointed forward, and the arches of my feet are lifted off the mat. I'm not collapsing my feet. I'm actually flexing my feet. Pull your toes back. You might not be able to see it on the video, but I'm flexing my toes to make sure that my feet are flexed. This is mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to a back bend. You have to flex your stomach to protect your back in this back bend. Inhale, arms up again. And exhale, swan dive down to a forward fold. However low you can get in this forward fold is fine. If you want to put some blocks or books or a pillow on the ground to rest your hands on, that works too. Or even a chair. You can stop right here if you need to have a chair in front of you to hold on to. You exhale into this forward fold. We'll stay here for a few breaths to loosen up. Maybe you sway. Maybe you bend your knees. Find a stretch in this forward fold, but keep your knees as bent as you need to. Ideally, you want to have your stomach resting on your thighs in this pose. Now inhale up to a halfway lift. Top of my head points forward, my gaze is down. My fingertips are touching my calves or my shins. I'll exhale, forward fold one more time, and then slowly roll up one section of my back at a time to inhale up to a mountain pose. Exhale, back bend. Inhale up to mountain, and this time prayer hands to exhale down to forward fold. This time when we get there, listen for the changes. I'm going to turn sideways, but you stay in the same position. Watch what I do here. I'm going to stretch my right leg by keeping it straight and bending my left knee. If this is as much as you can get, that's fine. Straight right leg, bent left leg. But if you can go even further, lift your right hand up from the mat and roll your upper body open towards the sky. Inhale here and exhale down to the left side. Now straighten the left leg and bend the right leg. And if you can, open up the left upper body towards the sky with an inhale. Exhale back down. Roll the right arm up. My right leg is straight, my right arm is up. Inhale, exhale down. Left side. Left leg is straight, left arm is up. Inhale up. Exhale down. Maybe you pause here to give the back of your neck a little stretch. This, when I put pressure on the back of my head, it pulls all the way down my back. It pulls in my glutes and it pulls behind my knees. This is such a good stretch. Come back to neutral. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll all the way back up to standing. I'll stay sideways so you can see this from a different view. Arms are up again in mountain pose. Exhale, back bend. I flex my abs to protect my lower back here. Inhale, back up to mountain. Exhale, swan dive down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Listen for the change this time. Inhale your back, roll your back up. But this time we're going to exhale into a chair pose. This will be our challenge pose, and this will be how we wrap up. Oh yeah, we're almost right at 20 minutes. This will be how we wrap up our practice today with a burnout challenge pose. This is called chair. Look down at your feet. Your feet should be together. Your heels can be slightly apart. Your knees should be even with each other, and you should still be able to see your toes. My hips are back. My back is straight. My chest is still open. I'm looking forward, and my arms are up. keep breathing in this chair pose. To get out of it, we'll just exhale again to a forward fold. And exhale down to forward fold. Slowly bend your knees until you can come into a seat. The way that you end a yoga practice is called Shavasana. It's optional, but I highly suggest it. It's honestly everybody's favorite yoga pose. Everybody that I've ever met. To take a Shavasana, you get ready for it by kind of loosening up any tight areas. Move. Get out of the way. Any tight areas that you might still have, and then you slowly lower, using your abs to lower. You just lay down on your back, and you just breathe. You just breathe naturally. You don't even have to focus on deep breaths anymore. It's like the natural breathing that you do when you're sleeping. You don't have to watch me do Shavasana, but I will show you my favorite pose. It's just kind of the standard one. I'll use my abs to help me lower down. And then I put my feet all the way outside my mat, and then I go palms up. My hands are outside of my mat too. And I close my eyes. And I let my breath come naturally. I reflect on my practice, thinking about how I feel now compared to how I felt when I first started. When we checked in at the beginning of this practice, I felt overwhelmed and I felt lonely. I definitely don't feel lonely knowing that I'm recording myself right now. And I do feel less overwhelmed. I like to connect with my breath in this pose sometimes by placing one hand on my stomach, one hand on my chest. And I just feel the way my belly rises. You know that you're doing your yoga breathing correctly when the breath goes all the way down to the belly. That means that your breath is pushing your diaphragm open when you breathe. That really triggers that relaxation response. You're welcome to stay in this pose for as long as you like, but if you're ready to rejoin your day, wiggle your hands and wiggle your toes. Typically, you would stay in this pose for 7 to 10 minutes. But it's still morning for me, so I need to get back to my day, but you are welcome to stay as long as you like. Bring my knees up, tap my feet on the mat, then I roll over onto one side. This is a signal to my body that I'm not quite ready to jump back into action, but I can't stay asleep. It's kind of the signal that I need to start transitioning back to being fully awake. Use your arms to push back up to a seated pose. Come into a prayer pose with your hands at your heart center. May there be peace in your heart today. Now bring your prayer hands up to your mouth. May there be peace in your words today. Bring your prayer hands up to your forehead. May there be peace in your thoughts today. Now we'll bow to each other and we'll say Namaste, which just literally means peaceful greeting. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. I hope that you found this useful, whether you're new to yoga or whether you are an experienced athlete who just needed to relax. I will talk to all of you very soon.